I know one not too far from where I was, there was a, let's see, a guy was, can't remember exactly, but anyway, he started to get up. He had M1 in his hand. He started to get up on one of those shells in the tree, hit and cut the M1 right in two, as if he used a knife, piece of fragment from one of those shells. He cut it right in two. He had two pieces in it, one in each hand. And I think we were there for about 6 days before we pulled out of there again. That's where I got acquainted with Smitty. Smitty would happen to be the platoon officer.
Right.
And as we pulled out of there, I think F Company led that attack too. And we pulled out of there, and Smitty, I see him wandering around over there. He's way out in the open, and I was in a foxhole with some German that somebody had shot, and he drilled him right dead between the eyes. And his machine gun he was holding, or had, was on the top pointing out. And I pushed the dang thing out, and I hollered to Smitty, and he came over, and we pulled the dead German out, and he got in there with me. He was in there for probably a couple hours before we moved out. And I got acquainted with Smitty. Back into out. See, we can't remember what the deal was on that one, but we took this town, I think. Yeah, small town. I don't remember the name or anything. I couldn't keep track of the places where you never knew where you was going to be. You just went. And if you happened to run into a town, it was a town. That's all you knew, you know. But we ran across. We overran a German. There was a line of them through there, and they were dug in. And I remember there was a German guy and his buddy. And I remember there was a lieutenant from the other side was going to shoot. And I kind of overstepped myself. I wouldn't let him. I stepped in front of him. I said, "These guys are my prisoners." He says, "You ain't going to kill them." And he would have too, I think. And he ran away cussing the court martial and all of it. I never saw him again, so I don't know what the hell happened to him. But I kind of had a lot of respect for the guy because he was sticking by his buddy. And I figured, well, hell, he's doing the same thing I'm doing. He's doing his job. And he's got enough courage to stick by his friend. So I left him. Standing there. I never bothered him. I just went on. Neither one of them were armed. So,
the Germans?
Yeah, the two Germans.
So he had respect for the one guy because he stuck with him.
Yeah. I think, well, that's probably what I'd be doing, see. And he did. I never saw them again either. And at that time I was carrying a sniper's rifle.
You had a scope on it?
Had a scope on it. And I didn't like the thing at all because you had to fire a single shot. It was an 03, what they call an 03A3. It was an 03, but you had to feed, what is it? A little clip. I had 5 or 6 shells in it. You had to shove them in with your thumb and then shove the bolt through and down. And then I think 5 or 6 shells. You had to pull the bolt back and every time you went to fire.
You had to recycle it each time, right?
Yeah. Now with the M1 you didn't have to do that. You fired 9 times and it kicked the empty container out and you pushed another one in and slammed it. When you slammed shut, you had one in the chamber ready to go. But after that little deal, I remember we lost several guys there. I think that's where and a guy named Cutton came up with me. Anton Cutton, he was from someplace in Ohio, Indiana. He was a medic. He got shot out there.
He was a medic?
He was a medic. He got killed out there. He was tending somebody and some stupid German shot him.
They weren't supposed to shoot medics.
Huh?
They weren't supposed to shoot medics.
No, but they did.
But they did.